videotape and audio tape. If anybody else is either videotape or audio taping, you have to let us know now.
Yes. Roll.
Both of them? Audio and video?
Oh, yes, correct.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
No problem.
All right, first item on the agenda is old business.
Okay, update on the telephone pole issue on Little Rest Road. National Grid has the work order in their central office and it will be placed on their schedule. We need to approve the contract for stucco work to begin on Fire Station A in the amount of $9,997. The select board to sign a contract. I will make a motion that we sign the contract to approve the stucco work on Fire Station A.
Is there a second? Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. One other old business note, the LED light programs both came into the senior center and for the highway barn. I will be gathering those up and bringing those to Armin and working with him to get them in the senior center, dropping off the rest of the bulk to the highway department. And just an update quickly on the street light LED program, we will not be participating in that. We do not own the poles. It's going to have too much of a cost and impact on the town at this point in time, and we don't have the resources to venture into that, so we will not be doing the street light program, the LED conversion on the street lights. That's my old business, sir.
Okay, any old business? All right, we're going to go to comments and concerns. Does anybody wish to address the board?
I couldn't find the July 29th board minutes on the website.
They don't
I think
go
they're
until they're approved.
And they're scheduled tonight, aren't they?
Oh,
They're scheduled to be approved tonight. Once they're approved, the minutes will be posted on the website. They have to be approved first.
all right. My other concern is that the Friends of the Town Hall have been unable to locate the contract, the warranty for the roof. That was done by Greenwood Industries. And on July 9th, I contacted Lorena requesting permission from the Selectmen to look through the files for the contract. And she was able to locate a box containing some old town hall bids, files. But Arlene and I could not find the contract/warranty. So I contacted Beth Russell, and she suggested, she was the former town clerk, I believe. She suggested several file headings that I should look under, which we did, and to no avail. I also checked with the town clerk, Nancy, the building. I checked with Becky to look through her files, the treasurer's office, the accountant. And then on July 31st, I contacted Jean, who was working in the selectman's office, and I asked her to come in to go through the box that we found to see if she could find the contract for the roof repair, and she couldn't find anything. She went upstairs into the storage area, nothing. She suggested that the town clerk take another look, through her files to find the warranty for the roof repair. And Nancy did that, she couldn't find anything, and Jean said that any warranties should have been kept in the file. And I also contacted Reinhardt Industries on August 1st, and they emailed me some pages with reference to the shingles and the guarantee warranty. And according to the office administrator, there should have been a packet that came to us, the town, with the contract and warranty after the roof repairs were made. So, I just find it odd that we can't find an important document. And if it's been misplaced or it's been missing, how can you people, the board, help us find it? And shouldn't there have been a follow-up when the roof started leaking? some years back. I mean, the shingles were, according to what the email that I received from Reinhardt, I think there was a 14-year or 15-year guarantee on the shingles.
Wow.
I mean-
Installation, yeah, no less than 15, it says.
Isn't
It's
there any
still cooked.
follow-up?
Usually, if we receive a complaint about the roof leaking, we would do that. I don't remember what section of roof is leaking, I don't remember what that is right now. But yes, we would usually check it, and if a complaint came to the board, we would definitely check it.
But we've had so many studies. I mean, I have folders of studies and re-studies and studies, and a lot of them say, you know, there was damage to the roof. We need to get, one bear said we need to get a bucket loader up there to look at the roof to find out where it needs to be repaired. I mean, nobody seems to be following up. I mean, to me, this is important. I mean, I realize that some people think that we're, you know, beating a dead horse, but that's kind of like the center of town, that building. I mean, what are we gonna do, knock it down and make a parking lot for what? There's no business down there.
The board is very concerned with the building, and I am going to take something out of order right now. We have some problems with the engineering company. I would entertain a motion at this stage, and let me go through the whole thing, to instruct the Lorena and/or Becky to get in contact with Leonard Engineering and everybody else that has a contract right now, and tell them that it's been placed on hold by the Board of Selectmen.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any requests for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
We have some problems with it. We're on our fourth engineer or third engineer, I'm not even quite sure. The board's not happy with anything. We also know that there's contracts and so forth that may be duplicate, and we are going to make sure that there's no duplication, and we're gonna make sure that when we award a contract, it gets taken care of. It's ridiculous. When we had Scott, everything was pretty good. Okay, we like Scott very much. We now find out that the person that was doing it, third person or so that was doing it, is no longer working for the company either. So we've lost 3 engineers, and it's just to the point where it's ridiculous. So we're gonna meet with the engineers in 2 weeks, and decide where we're going from there, because we're not happy in the least. As much as you're not happy, neither are we.
But that still doesn't answer the question.
I-
Where is the contract from Green?
That I can't answer. That I can't answer. What we're going to try to do is to, again, we'll probably contact the company, and they have to have a copy of it too. Even if they say they don't, they have to have one. Okay?
It's under warranty. They have
So if it's under warranty, they have to have it. We will contact the company tomorrow and get a copy of the contract. They have to have one.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if we let a warranty go out and.
We're not gonna let it, we're not gonna
We're
let it.
not gonna let it go out. We're gonna tell them now that we have problems with the roof, and we'll notify them within a certain time period to make sure we can fix it. And part of the thing we will do with the new, one of the things we will do either with the old engineering company or a new engineering company is have the roof to check.
We're gonna take a good hard look at Leonard when they come in. You know, I think Stanley brought it up about 4 weeks ago when he said accountability. You know, they gotta be accountable for the job that they have. You know, we're asking questions, things aren't happening, and you gotta hold them accountable for it. I don't have all the answers, but they need to come here to help produce those answers, and this board needs to make a decision where we wanna go moving forward. You know, we have a lot of projects coming up, but we don't wanna see other projects fail. And this one, in my opinion, personally, has failed miserably. It's just one thing after another.
And to throw it on top of things, we're not even notified half the time. The last one, we weren't even notified that the engineer left until we started making calls to try to find out what was going on. It's just to the point now where it's ridiculous.
We are the paying customer. We want something, we want more bang for our buck, basically.
You want them at the next meeting?
Madeline?
Yes.
All right, since I'm here and that's what I came for, so what are you doing with the Russell Bar?
Everything is put on hold, and they're gonna be told, we're gonna recheck the contract here.
Okay. couple
So,
things that I wanted to say, okay. Number one, I don't think some of those items, I'm not sure where you planned on getting the funding for those items would fall under the town meeting article from town hall. Okay, because the article was very specific as to what it could be used for. Number two, I don't think we really need to get an engineer. I think what we need to do is the portico needs to be taken care of. We don't need somebody to come look at it again, it's been looked at enough. Just let me say what I want to say. That what we need to do is get a historical architect engineer, say, listen, you come here, look at it, tell us what the price. We don't need another person coming and saying, yeah, we know what's wrong. And I think that's what's happening, is some of this stuff is being repeated again, that you're looking to pay somebody a big amount of money that doesn't need to be done. We need them to get the person to come in and say, this is it, this is how much, and then bring it, so that we know, instead of having somebody look at it. We've got reports after reports.
but what we're looking to do now is look at the whole thing ourselves first, okay? And then we're going to look at which way we're going to go. If we decide to go a different way, maybe some of the way that you talked about, we're gonna put everything together before we do anything. Every contract's on hold right now.
I understand the contract's on hold, but what I'm saying is I think we need to tell them that we don't want somebody to come look at it. We want a price of what it's going to be. This is what's wrong, this is how much it's gonna cost.
Which is what we thought we were getting.
No, I mean, from what I saw in that contract, that's not what, he's not the type of person we need.
As I said, everything's on hold, we are definitely gonna double check, we're just as upset as you are, and it's getting worse because, again, we're not getting informed. We tell them we need something done, they tell us they're gonna get done, and then we lose an engineer, and/or we lose, the contract never starts.
And I think, and go back to where this all originated was that they were asking for a committee. And my personal opinion is I think you should have a committee, because in my opinion, there's certain things, the portico is, to me, is one of the first things that needs to be done. We gotta get those barriers out, okay? In past talks with Scott Leonard, when he was still working for the town, you know, I've talked with Scott quite a bit.
But wasn't Scott Leonard though?
I mean, Scott from Leonard,
Yeah.
Scott Charpentier from Leonard, he was working at Leonard at the time, that one of the next concerns should be, I mean, I know there's apparently issues with the roof, is the basement.
The door.
The basement, we need to get the sand part cemented and get those walls, whatever you put on
All right,
it, to stop the moisture.
As far as now, what I'm gonna say now is, man, I'm not disagreeing with you.
But
We're not gonna talk to you anymore tonight, we're gonna wait, we're not talking to you right now. We're gonna go in 2 weeks, okay? Everybody's welcome to come in when we have the engineer in, all right? We're then gonna decide how we're gonna go. So what we're saying tonight, we're gonna go over again in 2 weeks, madam. That's the reason I'm saying not right now. Everybody's welcome to come in,
I'll be here.
okay? Absolutely welcome to come in. So I think part of the whole problem was we started off, we trusted Scott, because Scott was always good to us and always did what he said he was going to do. It went downhill rapidly with the 3 other people that came in. That's the problem. And I don't disagree, we're gonna look at, that we should look at different things, as I think we should. And I think we told them the last time they were in here, and I know I specifically said it, we gotta do something about getting the barricades out of here. That was supposed to be, we'll get on it right away, well, that was 2 months ago. So,
We've also asked, as the town, friends of the town hall, if we could get that door solid on the side. I mean, there's a gap rotted door about 1.5 feet that the water just goes down, goes right into the cellar.
yeah, we will.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's real common sense stuff.
Well, we will discuss it.
Okay.
Madeline, if you wanna go one brief one, I'll let you go one brief one.
No, that's it, I'm just saying that I think that you should have some sort of committee, say, listen, we've got all the reports, this is where we think how it should go, and give it to you guys and say, okay, and make a list of, from the top to the bottom, because we've gotta stop the moisture.
I agree, and I think what we're gonna do is, if everybody's here tonight wants to come back in 2 weeks, when we're talking to the engineer, there's gonna be decisions made at that meeting.
As to what's to be done.
It's gonna be, who's gonna do it, number one, And number two, how it's gonna be done in what order.
Can we put a time limit, a time constraint on it?
We
as
did
far as-
already, Kathy, and that's how this whole thing got to the point it's at. They were told they had to start something at a specific time, they were told what we wanted to have done first, and nothing's been done. So, and we have another new engineer,
Okay.
all right, and that's, we're just sick of it completely.
Yeah.
With regard to records, have you checked with Mrs. Buck
I
with
have-
regard to that contract? She may have had it for some reason and
She doesn't have
she
it.
doesn't have it
No,
either.
we're gonna call the company, we'll see, we should be able to get a copy from the company.
Where did it go? I mean, if
It's gotta be here somewhere, things get misfiled, what year was it done in?
And that was
It was completed.
99.
Okay,
June
then it
of
should be in this building
2000.
somewhere,
Did you see the price of it? I mean,
should be in this building somewhere.
it's crazy.
And if Gene, the bad part is, if Gene didn't know where it was, that worries him. Because Gene's kind of up to date on all that. We will get a copy of the contract.
Wasn't there a committee at the time?
There was a committee at the time.
Maybe one of those people might have
And we can find out, we'll see if we can find out who was on the committee.
I think Elliot was on this.
I think you're probably right.
He may.
But I also thought that the librarian was on the committee too, so anyway, we'll get a copy. All right. Again, come back to the correspondence.
Correspondence. A memo from Chief Lavoy advising the board of the fourth quarter ambulance abatements for FY14. A letter from the Board of Sewer Commissioners requesting that the office be relocated back to the first floor due to accessibility issues.
Could we go over that and see who's in what office right now? And see if there's anything open on the first floor, whether it be downstairs or this floor. I understand that one of the members of the committee is really having a hard time now to get up and down those stairs. So if we can see anybody, if there's anything, we should reconsider that.
Notification from ABCC regarding farmer winery authorization to charge for samples. This legislative change allows farmers winery licensees, which do not hold a farmers series pouring permit, to charge a fee to their customers for on-premises sampling of their winery products. Please note that stipulations do apply.
We don't have any.
We don't have any wineries.
Correspondence from resident Gladys Theodore expressing concerns over the current condition of the Warren War Memorial located in front of the library. A copy was forwarded to the Veterans Agent for his input.
Could you please check with the Veterans Agent and see what his recommendations are and whatever we need to do to fix it.
And that is on private property.
It's on private property, so that's the reason, I think we have to look at it to see what it would cost to fix the actual memorial that town put up, basically.
Okay.
But we're talking memorial only, we can't touch the ground around it because it's not ours.
A letter from Ursula Wright on behalf of the Wright family is requesting permission from the Board of Selectmen and the Park Commissioners to gather at McWright Park in West Warren. As you may recall, several years ago, the bell from the tower of the Wright's Mill Factory was moved to the park. They would like to donate plaques to commemorate the history of the bell and all those involved with the William E. Wright Company. The event is scheduled for Sunday, August 17th at 11 a.m. and all are welcome to attend. Official notification from the... I'm sorry.
I don't think they need permission from the Board of Selectmen, how about the Parks Commission?
Parks Commission.
I don't think they really need permission to put plaques on because they're already on.
All right.
They just want to have a ceremony.
Just tell them we,
They want to have
have
a
no
ceremony
problem
to
with
be dedicated, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Official notification from the Director of the Warren Senior Center, Armin Zemo, advising the board of his retirement effective September 30th, 2014. Request from the West Warren Library for a one-day pouring license to serve beer and wine as part of a fundraising event. The trivia night will be held on Saturday, August 23rd from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Senior Center.
I'll entertain a motion to grant that one-day pouring license and to waive the fee.
We do have a list of who's pouring, correct?
We do have a list.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any request for discussion? Again, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then the July 2014 report from the Animal Control Officer, Sarah Pardue. Pardue? I apologize for that, Sarah.
Very good. All right. Mr. Burrell, you asked to be put on the agenda.
All right, I have 3 sets of handouts for you. Sorry, I didn't make a fourth, but somebody should give her a copy towards the end. All right, so what I'm here to talk about today on my agenda request, and hopefully this should probably be like 5 minutes or less, was basically some issues about public records requests. Nothing to do with what I spoke about before. These are new updates, new things. One of the things the first thing I wanted to mention quickly was the Public Records Division, the state agency, does have policies and procedures on their website or in their document or whatever, what's called price gouging. And basically what that is where somebody does a public records
All right,
request.
hold on,
Yes.
1 second.
Yes,
1 second. I have talked to the state and I have talked to our town council,
yeah,
and if you want to talk about records,
yeah.
you would have to talk to the keeper of the records in the case, and I'm looking at who you're requesting.
Right, yeah.
And you're seeking these records. Now, the
Well, I
complaint,
already have some of those. There's
Okay.
just some I don't have.
all right,
And then there's 2 pending with the police right now that I don't have either.
all right. For the police department, you can't talk to us about it, you have to talk to the chief about it. If you're not happy with the amount of money that the chief is asking for,
Yeah,
you appeal to the state, not to the board of selectmen.
right, I've already done that.
Okay, so that's,
Yes, but the state has ruled that the price that the chief wrote in his initial letter from the December 2013 was excessive.
I haven't
And
seen it.
that's what was told to me.
Then I-
So
have you
the
got
reason
it-
why I'm here
have you got it
tonight-
in writing?
I don't know if I have it with me, but I do, yes.
Then my thing to you would be, if indeed you have a letter that says something's excessive and it's
Yeah.
talking about the police chief, you have to see the police chief. You can't see us.
Well, the reason why I'm here tonight, which I discussed with Lorena, is because I wanted to explain the situation and have the board vote to overrule any decisions of the chief of police for the records requests
We
on
can't-
on several things.
We
One,
can't do that.
I complained to Sergeant LaFleur.
Okay, hold on.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Again, I'm gonna go back to what we were told by town council and the state. You
right,
have to talk to the keeper of the records. The keeper of the records makes the decision as to what it's gonna cost and if they're following the correct way of doing it or not.
yeah,
So you would have to go back to the chief again and talk to the chief. If you're still not happy with what the chief is telling you as a cost,
yeah,
you appeal it to the state and the state writes us a letter. They don't give you a letter, they send it to us.
right, correct, yeah. As
Okay.
far as I know, that has happened, yes.
So we haven't received any letter as far as I know. The chief hasn't received a letter. So I don't mind you going over, but we can't go over any of the thing pertaining to a keeper of the records that's already given you a price. Talk to him or the state.
Okay, but I'm still confused, because according to what Lorena said, the board could take a vote to simply reduce the price. I understand what you're saying, right, the chief says, here's the price, which one request from the December was for me to pay $1,800 for timesheets. So I said to Lorena, I said, look, all I'm looking to ask the board of selectmen to do, as your voting power, would be to look at the documents that I have and reduce the fee or waive the research costs. I don't mind paying for photocopies, but in this packet, there's no reason, I guess we can mention that first, there's no reason that the chief of police should be charging, right here, charging me 28 hours at $43.43 an hour to locate timesheets, okay?
All right, let me go again and say this.
And then he
No,
says,
stop,
yes.
stop. We're not gonna discuss any request from the chief of police. The board has no power to reduce any part of that fee. You have to go to the state. Lorena was mistaken if she told you that the board of selectmen has the right to do that, because we don't. You would have to
Okay.
see the chief of police or complain to the state. I'm not gonna say anything about the cost, because I don't know if it's, all I'm gonna say is that we've been told that we can't lower it, we can't do anything to either one of those costs.
Okay.
You have to go to the state to
Well,
do
if that's
that.
the case, then if Lorena did that and she's wrong for putting it on, if she's wrong for misunderstanding it, why would she put it on the agenda if she, because that was her intent, saying, well, yes, it has to be on the agenda for the selectmen to take a vote.
Lorena
So-
called me,
Yes,
Lorena called me and asked if we should put you on. I said, absolutely, he has every right to come before the board.
But I also think you had a request regarding the citizen's petition too, so you have more than one request tonight. So this isn't the only reason you're here.
Well, I know that.
So that's why we're allowing you to
it-
be here and to be heard.
Yes, but this is the thing I sent Lorraine with 3 items, 1, 2, and 3. We're still on number 1 right now.
Well, we're not on number 1 anymore. Number 1 is gone. Go to something else. Because we're not gonna discuss things once we've been told we can't do anything about it.
Okay, well, I have the second request, which is a Board of Selectmen records request. And the issue about that is I was requesting some executive session meeting minutes. And Lorena was under the impression that with all the back and forth from town council, because I have the town council bills, is that I was given all the records that I asked for, which was some invoices and stuff like that. But the other items were some executive session meeting minutes. And she had no idea, other than she said to talk to the 3 of you, why you won't give me those executive session meeting minutes.
We
And
can,
those were pertaining to, in fact, those were, it would be December 10, 2008, which was an executive session that the chief of police attended. And then it was also the executive session for December 18, 2008. And it was regarding listening to some alleged criminal incidents by a town employee that, I'm sure you attended the meeting, so. 'Cause you're-
it looks like you have a copy of the minutes, but they've been redacted. They've been redacted by town council, and that's the only thing we can give you. Town council,
Right.
anytime anybody
Yes.
requests an executive session,
Yeah.
the board requests from town council to go look at it and see if they can or can't be given out due to state law. You were given a copy, but they were redacted. I'm sure you're probably not happy that they were redacted.
No, you actually have the story backwards. The town council bills show that taxpayers paid roughly $2,000 to consult with town council to not give me the records. So I emailed town council myself, and it's in your packet, and emailed her in there, and she never, of course, answered me back. But she did bill you for it for reading my email, which was a couple $100s. So I was able, those executive session meeting minutes were actually released to the public, and I actually got these from a resident. So I guess what I'm saying is, when I did the records request, I wanted those records, but town council and the selectmen denied me the records, saying you can't have it, and made up these excuses, saying it contains this, it contains that, it's top secret information. But I already knew they were already.
I don't know why you wouldn't have received that record you have in your hand, because it's been redacted, and we were given those out already. I can't
Well,
give you
that's
the-
correct, yes, so that's exactly my question. So why did the taxpayers pay $2,000 to $3,000 for town council to tell me that I can't have the records that I never told you that I already had to begin with? And I did that on purpose, because if I told you I had them, you'd say, oh, well, we don't need to give them, he already has them. But I have questions on what happened at this executive session with this employee.
We're not gonna answer them.
That's fine.
With that, we can't
So
do it.
that's my question, is so either somebody had to tell town council, don't give him the records, and she wrote me that fancy letter that cost a couple $1,000s, because I asked Lorena, did you write this? And she said, no, town council wrote it to me. Town council wrote it and sent it to me. And she had no answer as to why I couldn't get those records, and I said, I understand the executive section records normally aren't public records unless they're released to the public. And I told her that, and she said, I told town council that, and then she pointed the finger at you 3 again, saying, well, I don't know, you have to talk to 3 selectmen, I don't know, but.
The Board of Selectmen, as I said, anytime it comes to ask for an executive session that has items in it that we don't know if we can release or can't release, ask town council to review. That's what we did. In any request we get
Yeah,
for executive session, we ask town council to say, can we review them, please, and tell us if we can or can't. If she
Right.
tells us we can give them out, like some of them we can give them out redacted, other ones we
yeah,
can't
no,
give out.
I
till
understand
later.
about the redaction.
That's the
Yeah.
reason why. I don't know why, other than that, other than tell you it goes to town council. And town council won't answer any letters that aren't okayed by the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, so a question is still left over, is who is the person, or was it the board that was not giving me those 3 pages that I wanted?
It wasn't the board, as far as I know. I know I never said don't give it to them. If somebody would have asked me about the record you have in your hand that's been redacted, I have no problem anybody getting those.
Mhm.
So, I can't answer that question, other than to say,
So in other words, town council is doing, so I guess what you're saying is town council is doing whatever she wants.
not correct.
Without, because if you didn't instruct her that, then why would she instruct and write a letter to me that says you can't have those? Because that's exactly what it
Was
said.
it, though, I'd like to see the letter, because is that what you're asking for?
I'm asking for the 2 executive session meeting minutes, a last chance agreement with the highway employee.
We won't get the last chance agreement, that's not gonna happen.
I do have the disciplinary letter that was sent to that highway worker of the sexual assault issue. That I do have, and I was denied that too, so I already have that.
Okay, all I can tell you is, we did what we legally could do. That's my answer.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, the next thing is, so, all right, so Board of Selectmen, okay. So we're leaving it at, as far as the police, any police department, that police department request, I have to talk to Chief Spakowski.
That's
Is what you're
correct.
saying.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, the next thing to go over was basically citizens petitions. The citizens petition that I had, these are not filled out, by the way. So what I'm interested in doing is the introduction of a class action citizen petition for voters to terminate town council, Copeland and Page, the contract with the town, and to be removed as town council, and seek sealed bids for replacement new town council. The reasoning behind that is I feel that town council and the correspondence back and forth between the selectmen, I think, has some bad stuff in there. I think some things have been hidden. I don't think that town council is being honest. I don't think that certain town employees are being honest with town council. So I keep going back and forth in my head whether, when an incident happens in town, whether it be an alleged sexual assault or other incident, other criminal activity that has happened over the years that I have the records on, that criminal processes and procedures were not followed and the Board of Selectmen interjected, and these town council bills reflect that. So I don't believe that town council should magically be a criminal lawyer, that if a town employee did something wrong while on duty, that employee, if that employee engaged in a crime while on duty, whether it be an accident or drunk driving or something or other, the law enforcement agency or somebody other than the Warren police should be investigating that matter. And I think bringing these issues to town council and saying, well, this is what happened, what can you do to help us, and then everything is just being covered up.
Nothing being covered up. Town council will not answer you if you want to obtain
Right,
a
well, I'm not
lawyer.
asking her to
If
answer
you want to
that.
obtain a lawyer to file class action suit or whatever it may be, you have every right to do that.
Yeah. So I feel, so it is my personal opinion that town council is either being played by the town or she's not realizing what she's really getting into. Because I just don't understand some stuff of the records that I have, that if an employee committed a crime, then why would she engage herself in, why would that employee who allegedly committed a crime get town council to begin with? It should be the other way around. The town should say, hey, you did this while on duty, and then the law enforcement people should get involved. And in certain cases, the law enforcement people weren't involved at all. They did basically look the other way and did nothing, so. And the only last thing I have for a citizen's petition is I am doing a citizen's petition. There have been discussions with myself and some other people about Chief Spakowski here about having him removed as chief of police. So there will be a citizen's petition that we are also putting together to remove the chief of police. I do have a copy of his contract. My lawyer has actually already reviewed it, and we're using some of these records to base upon that petition to remove the chief of police that he engaged in a bunch of inappropriate things while here. The selectmen in some records were aware of what he did and didn't do nothing, so. And then the only other thing I have to say is, and also the last thing would be, I'm planning on doing several citizens petitions to change some of the bylaws that would change policies and procedures of access and use of town council. It would create new employee procedures in town. It would also have something to do with the cable access, that any meetings in town, not just the selectmen's meeting, but finance committee meeting, this, everything should be videotaped. And that the public, and the residents and taxpayers of this town deserve more seeing records on the town's website, because it's quite confusing, because there are meetings that happen, it's not videotaped, there's no meeting minutes, and then people say, well, what happened? What happened? Well, why do we need to do this? Why do we need to do that? Well, I didn't know. It just seems like everybody's in the dark. So I'm here to help the citizens and taxpayers and to help improve things, so.
Thank you very much for coming in.
So, all right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I could say something to the website
Yep.
that Michael just spoke about. Michael, as far as the town website is concerned, I take care of that.
Yes,
I
I'm
have
here, yeah.
repeatedly told every department, board, committee, Boy Scout, Girl Scout, you want something on the website, you give it to me.
Correct, yes.
And as you can see by my pages, they're up to date. I cannot babysit every
Oh, I
committee or
understand,
board
yeah.
now.
Yeah, you and I have had conversation and you know, and I don't understand, because she has made 110% effort to do what she does for her department. But I just don't understand why other departments just don't care, I guess is the way to describe it, because I see that as, if they were trying, then that would be fine, but I mean, if you're not doing anything, that just means you have an attitude, I don't care, who cares if you don't see anything on the website?
We're trying to institute a monthly department head meeting.
Well, the meeting date will be announced at our next select board meeting. Actually, our first meeting agenda's already been set, and we're gonna be going over the personal bylaws, the hiring procedures, and what we do to employ an employee, and how they get through the system, whether it's query checks, and the checklist that needs to be in place for all departments, so that we're on the same page when it comes to hiring. But that would be a good point to bring up at maybe the October meeting being, you know, the website and gathering information and forwarding it to Becky to be put up there. So you know, we're always I'm looking for advice as to what you would like to see us discuss and bring up when we can actually gather the departments together for an hour in the morning once a month would be great. So if you have any comments, concerns, or questions or things you'd like us to address, you know, feel free to share it with us. But the monthly meetings are starting in September.
All right, thank you.
I have one question. You a
Yes.
resident of this town?
No, taxpayer.
Right.
May I ask why? Because I've been asked that question like 3 times when they come to these
Just
meetings.
curious.
All right, next item is the standard agreement for limited professional services for Graves Engineering.
And that's just actually David for the planning board to be able to go out to peer review.
Yeah.
So, under the general bylaws, Madeline looked that up for us, that the chair of the select board has to sign
I'll
that.
talk to you.
Just a standard, we've done these before.
Because it's over 5, it could be over 5,000, if it's 5,000 or less. The chairman of the planning board could sign it, but by the town bylaw, anything over that needs to be signed by you.
Okay.
And since it's an ongoing,
Yep,
they don't know how much it's gonna be. That was my advice, was to have.
all right,
Always now.
thank you. Is there a motion to authorize me to sign this agreement?
So moved.
Second. Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. The next item is Friends of the Town Hall. Request to contact Town Hall roofing contractor. I think we kind of covered that one, but.
If I may, David,
Yep.
why do we not select a time and date for Mike to meet with the chief to resolve those problems? He walked out of here pissed off, he's getting no answer. What, he was here.
You have to understand, the board can't order the chief to do it. It goes back to what powers he has been empowered with, okay? If he was going, Mike wants to go down there, Mr. Burrell wants to go down there and talk to the chief. If he goes down there and if he calls the chief and requests a time, the chief should give it to him. If it continues to be a problem, he can come to the Board of Selectmen and ask to talk to the chief, or tell him that he's been trying to get a hold of him and can't, and the board can contact the chief and say, will you please make an appointment? That's about all we can do,
I thought he just said no.
He asked him,
He just said, no, he doesn't wanna talk to me, he wants to name in my lawyer. He said, we're done talking.
All I can
So-
say is,
And if I may say something, I complained to you, because I have your signature from 2011, that I've complained about the chief of police. And here we are, 2014, and we're still in the same predicament. There's never been an executive session, there's never been a meeting, so I just don't understand how, since 2009, 2011, I even have a copy of the letter that you mailed to me in Uxbridge that has all your signatures on it, and there's never been any resolution to do anything to help me fix the problem with the chief of police. So, so when I go to my attorney and I say, look, these are the problems I'm having, this is what's going on, and he says, oh my God, that's ridiculous, and da-da-da-da, and well, what have they done? Nobody here, I'm not blaming you personally, nobody here has made 0% effort to ever fix anything. So now, in addition, I sent Lorena an email in April 12th, 2011, that I was given the town, including the selectmen, 30 days to just sit down and talk with me and saying, this is why the chief doesn't like you, what can we do to resolve this, and I won't sue. But town council didn't reply back, you didn't reply back, Lorena said you're being ignored, and that was the answer, so that's why I'm suing, so now you know.
okay,
Because nobody has done nothing, nobody cares.
My recommendation would be is to put it in writing to the chief requesting,
That's what I was
you put it in writing, he's gonna have to respond to.
registered letter.
put it in writing and
What
request,
I- Personally, Mike, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
With a copy to the selectmen.
put a copy to the board of selectmen.
yeah,
Then there's, a response is warranted.
right.
And it'll go from there. Whatever your
And
personal.
I don't have anything personal against the chief, but the evidence I have against the chief of stuff that he has done
Okay.
blows my mind.
Okay, just,
And that's what
We
this
want to
is
steer you in the
about.
right direction, but that
Yeah.
records request and the information you're asking for, it needs to go to Bruce. So I would put that request to him in writing, send it certified, and then he's gonna have to respond to that. There's nothing we can do when it regards to those records. Regarding us determining whether or not, or why, or answering any questions regarding why the chief may not like you, that we're not gonna answer that
Right,
question.
right, yeah.
That's something you'd have to speak to Bruce
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
That's not our position to entertain that or go there.
If I could just say one quick thing, and I'll stop. I have been at least 14, 15 times, gone to Sergeant LaFleur. He knows we don't get along. And this request, the last one of a month ago, was sent to him. And the chief took it away from him. And Sergeant LaFleur said, well, I can't help you now, he took it away. So Sergeant LaFleur is a witness to me that these records requests for the chief processing certain things that are sensitive material that would prove that he did something possibly inappropriate. And that was the whole reason it was sent to LaFleur, because he says, you can't let the chief do this because you won't get your records. And that's exactly what it is he's continuing, and I'm just my personal information, he's playing games, because if he gives me those records, I then have and say, look, the chief did this, the chief did that.
okay,
And
I
that's
can't
what
let
it's
that go
about.
any further,
No, I
okay? Because
understand,
you're
I
making
understand.
accusations, and I can't let it go, so that's it. What we're
Right.
telling you as member of the
Yes.
Board of Selectmen, and as the Board of Selectmen, send a letter requesting a meeting with the chief, send it registered mail, send a copy to the Board of Selectmen, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so copy it, send it to him, and then send
Send
it
it
to
to
you.
him, send it,
Copy it to us.
and
Okay.
CC it to us,
Okay,
okay?
okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next item is notice of intent for article on special town meeting for the Warren Public Library. That's-
It's in your agenda items.
Is that the same thing?
Keep going, keep going. Keep going.
That's the one where they wanna go for
You would like,
the right answers.
I'm going to read this so people know what we're talking about, okay? And all I'm going to read is the article that the library sent, well, Warren Library sent to us. The Board of Trustees of the Warren Public Library requests voters to restore the library appropriations to the allocation recommended by the Finance Committee at the May 2014 annual town meeting. This would result in a restoration of historic funding split based on the population, collection sizes, and differing expenses of two libraries, resulting in 2/3 funding for the Warren Public Library and 1/3 funding for the West Warren Public Library for the balance of the fiscal year. I guess I'm going to ask if the board has anything to say about that.
Is it, well, I guess my only question is it true that the director has resigned?
They can't answer you.
I'm not sure, I've heard that the director has resigned, I'm sorry?
I heard it from Shelley.
I mean, I think at this point, maybe they should come before us, and we should ask them some of these questions. These are expenses that they're no longer incurring.
Yeah, I think they should come before us, but I have to say this is my personal opinion, not the board. I'm not in favor of putting this article on the special town meeting. I'm not against it being on there. Let there be a petitionary article so the board's not taking a side between the West Warren Library and the Warren Library. Therefore, let them petition. If it's a petition and they put it on, we're not taking a side. We've told everybody once before, we weren't gonna take a side.
I don't have an objection to it, but it was in town meeting already, and it went from 50-50 to, went from the other way to 50-50, which is the way the town wanted it. That's what they voted it for.
Yep. So, what's the board's pleasure? My recommendation would be to write a letter to the Warren Public Library and tell them that while we have no objection to the article in itself, that we are not going to put it on unless it's a petitionary article. Okay. All right, the next item is a warrant for the 2014 state primary. Yeah, there's only one.
We need a motion to sign it?
Yeah.
So moved.
Second?
Motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
And that's you first, sir. Okay. Next item is to ratify the town accountant contract.
Just a vote, yep. Just a vote, it's already signed.
I will make a motion that we ratify the town accountant's contract.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Treasury warrants and invoices.
Warrants and invoices. Okay, warrant number 10 in the amount of, I'll make a motion that we approve warrant number 10 in the amount of $41,046.75, and warrant number 11 in the amount of $105,956.68, dated 8/4/2014.
I'll second it.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
I will make a motion, Mr. Chair, to approve warrant number 12 in the amount of $37,811.87, and warrant number 13 in the amount of $121,901.48, dated 8/11/2014.
I'll second it.
Motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Three sets of minutes, I'm sorry?
Correct.
I will make a motion that we approve meeting minutes from May 20th, 2014, June 3rd, 2014, and July 29th, 2014.
I'll second it.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion on any? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Other business, I will go to you, Mr. Lavash. Anything?
I don't have anything.
Mr. Nardi?
The business. I don't think I have anything off the top of my head, sir, actually. I'm busy with a lot of other things right now. I'm out quiet this week.
Nothing else? You don't have anything?
No, nothing
Okay,
else.
just double checking. I have nothing.
I did have one quickie maybe.
Go ahead.
There was a chicken dinner put on by the Friends of the Town Hall Saturday.
Yep.
Sunday.
Sunday. I have it wrong.
Yeah, I thought- And it was, I think, pretty well attended. I thought food's pretty good. So,
Thank you, I thought so.
I just
too.
thank you.
It was very good. Okay,
That's all.
very good. If there's nothing else,
I just wanna, so the next meeting is, August 26th.
that's correct.
We're going to start at 6:30. We're gonna discuss the easement issue up
We're
on
gonna
Little
dis-
Rest Road.
Yep,
We'll get all those parties together. We're gonna call Leonard in. I'm not sure if you wanna do anything about, having the Council on Aging by that point come in and with their final recommendations.
but what we should do actually first is, yeah, and the only other thing is we want to see if we can have a copy of that letter, a copy of the contract as soon as we can for the roof at this town hall. So it doesn't have to be on the agenda, just, we can talk
Right,
about
I'm
it.
just talking, inviting people in.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Leonard and.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want the council in? If they're ready to make their recommendations?
Well, what we want, if I think, is we want the council to give us a recommendation, give us three people.
Your top three.
Give us the top three. Correct.
I thought they were appointing the top one.
Excuse me?
I thought that was their job, it was to come in with their recommendation for who they want.
Well, they can give us a recommendation, but we usually, when it gets down to something like that, we usually take 2 or 3 names too. All right, the next meeting date is August 26, 2014. We're gonna be meeting at 6:30, and we hope to have Leonard Engineering in here also. And we will also try to get, before then, to get a copy of the contract and the guarantee and so forth. And we will discuss in depth what we're gonna do where with the town hall. And if anybody has any ideas, bring them in then.
Bring 'em.
And you know what, if you wanna do us a good favor, put them in writing. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything, just put it in writing, what the recommendations are.
Well, what about the study that was done? Wasn't that recommendations?
It's the recommendations, and we could go by that, but Madeline had brought up one as far as the abutments out front should be the first thing to go.
Well, that's my opinion. I
So,
mean, I think it's
that's what we're looking
logical.
for. We're gonna talk about that. We have a copy of that also. And we're gonna talk about what the recommendations were from Scott. But we also wanna see if there's anything else that people want us to look at also.
Did you get like a letter from the Friends of the Town Hall about that door, like that being our next project?
I don't remember.
I don't remember seeing one.
I'll speak to Arlene. 'cause she
Which
said
door?
The one next to the, where K-Cat sort of looks property.
Oh,
The
one-
tires were stacked.
Where the tires were stacked and the computers
Mhm.
were. There's a door going into the cellar.
Yep.
there That is rotted, and we were talking about, we really wanted to replace that with our funds that we've been making.
Anybody have a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with that.
But shouldn't that be part of the
As long as
maintenance?
Sylvia does it.
That's it, see, there's some
I mean,
issues, I
this
think,
is-
maintenance, and I have some that I think
Yeah.
should be addressed under maintenance
Well,
also. So
if
we
that's-
can do it at the next meeting, I'll write
Yeah.
up what I think
Okay.
from one of the reports.
I'll have to ask Madeline. And we have to make sure that, again, as Madeline said, that they fall within the scope of the article.
Correct.
That's one thing we have to do. And I don't think the door was in the scope of the article. But it's gonna be
But
paid.
he has money in his maintenance account
Correct.
Yeah,
to maintain the building
yeah,
that has money for a door.
that's correct.
All right.
And it also has to be historical.
So,
Not necessarily.
It's not a historical door.
we actually, when we first started this project, and I just wanna remind everybody, when we first started this project, one of the things we said was, we kind of thought we should form a committee.
Because I
Okay.
think the engineer has gone off track. My
And honestly,
personal-
the committee's probably the best way to go at this point in time,
Right.
because you're gonna stay on top of things.
Yeah.
That group of people will stay on top of things and hold people accountable. I don't have to stand in that accountable thing again.
And I-
It's important, and I did speak to Arlene this week regarding the roof only, nothing regarding the door. And I did advise her to send that letter in to us regarding, about the roof request, and we'll get that documentation. But I think the committee's a great idea. I do
Yeah,
suggest
that's
it
what
wholeheartedly.
that's what the board suggested originally, and it was kind of, let's hope we can get it done quick. Well, it's not done
No,
quick.
it hasn't.
Everybody
been
seems to be working as an individual at times, and then, and then you're asking us questions about things. If that committee could gather that information, put
We
it
don't
together.
have, what,
But
they have
if
a
we
friends
have
in the
it.
town hall.
Correct.
This was a committee that was supposed to be appointed by the selectmen to make recommendations.
That's right.
That's what got canceled. That's what
Well, we
I'm
didn't,
saying.
but
But
the problem was it was canceled because the people, when we first started this whole thing, we were gonna form a committee. The people told us, don't form the committee, we want it done quicker. That's the reason it never got formed.
Well, we didn't have
Last-
enough money, I mean, it was only $150,000.
Mhm.
When you're fixing the things that need to be fixed, the $150,000 wasn't gonna cover a whole heck of a lot.
But
It's gonna cover a lot of the stuff that needs.
I have no problem with the committee in the least.
Right, absolutely.
So we'll decide what we're gonna do the next meeting.
When we took the grant money from the historical committee or the Mass Historical Society, in that grant, we signed off, or the selectmen signed off that they would maintain that building, which hasn't been done.
Yeah, we don't disagree with that, I don't think.
So there shouldn't have been money put aside every year. I mean,
It was, it's not, that's budgeted items.
Excuse me?
It's budgeted items, dollars for maintenance of the town hall.
Yeah, but I think, I don't disagree, yeah, we put money aside for maintenance, but I think if we were going to, we probably should have put a lot more aside every year.
Yeah. Well, before I get myself into trouble.
So, all right, the next meeting is Tuesday, August 26th at 6:30. And if there's nothing else to come before the board, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Michael,
Yes.
can I shut that off?
Oh, yeah.